Can we talk about Cuba real quick?
Sure.
All right. So, you know Biden wants to impose sanctions on Cuba's government for what's going on down there with all the uprisings and stuff?
Didn't we just make friends with Cuba just recently?
Right.
After being not friends with them my whole
Right.
life?
But everyone's checking them too. You know that. Like all the communist countries around the world are like, yo, don't intervene down there. Leave that shit alone. You know? They've all been like, so anyways.
That shit's just politics for us.
I just thought it was ironic that the
I'm
country.
so sorry. At least it wasn't pissed this time.
Yeah. I just thought it was ironic that the country that he wants to run sanctions against, we actually have a torture camp there. Guantanamo Bay is in Cuba. So he wants to run sanctions on them.
Thank you, brother,
for the way they treat the government, for the way they treat their people. But we have Guantanamo Bay there, which we know.
Hypocrisy, bro.
Which we know. So let me get into it.
Damn, good one.
A 2013 Institute on Medicine as a Profession report concluded that health professionals working with the military and intelligence services, quote, designed and participated in cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment and torture of detainees. Medical professionals were ordered to ignore ethical standards during involvement in abusive interrogation, including monitoring of vital signs under stress-inducing procedures. They used medical information for interrogation purposes and participated in force feeding of hunger strikes in violation of World Medical Association and American Medical Association prohibitions. Let's start there.
Sheesh.
That's just the first paragraph, bro. That's what they were doing to these people. Right?
Wow.
Okay, it gets worse. Supporters of controversial techniques have declared that certain protections of the Third Geneva Convention do not apply to Al-Qaeda or Taliban fighters, claiming that the convention applies to only military personnel and guerrillas who are part of a chain of command, wear distinctive insignia, bear arms openly, and abide by the rules of war. Chain of command? I thought the guy at the top was...
So they're saying they don't abide by the rules, so we don't abide by the rules, pretty much. That's what I just heard.
Right. They're not real humans, bro, because they don't have a chain of command, but they do have a chain of command.
Almost some guerrilla warfare.
But if they don't have a chain of command, let me ask you a question. Why do they always have a top priority target?
Right.
And it goes down.
And they always tell us an Al-Qaeda leader was...
Right. I thought it was Osama bin Laden was the leader. And then so on and so forth down the chain of command. Okay, guess I was wrong.
Right.
I guess I misheard. So anyway, so Jim Phillips of the Heritage Foundation said that, quote, some of these terrorists who are not recognized as soldiers don't deserve to be treated as soldiers. That's what this fucking guy said. Critics of U.S. policies such as George Monbiot claimed the government had violated the conventions in attempting to create a distinction between prisoners of war and illegal combatants.
I thought we were supposed to shut that shit down way back when Barack Obama was in office or some shit.
Still wide open, bro.
It's because we moved on to other shit. People forgot.
One of the allegations of abuse at the camp is the abuse of the religion of the detainees. Of all things, bro, you know how dedicated they are to their religion. Prisoners released from the camp have alleged incidents of abuse of religion, including flushing the Quran down the toilet,
Damn it, man.
defacing the Quran, writing comments and remarks on the Quran, tearing pages out of the Quran, and denying detainees a copy of the Quran. Inmates are interrogated hundreds of times, beaten, tortured with broken glass, barbed wire, burned with cigarettes, sexually assaulted, sensory deprivation, stress positions, and they've had their heads slammed multiple times into walls. Hunger striking detainees said large feeding tubes were forcibly shoved up their noses and down into their stomachs, with guards using the same tubes from one patient to another.
Damn.
The detainees say no sedatives were provided during these procedures, which they allege took place in front of U.S. physicians, including the head of the prison hospital.
That's gross, man. Gross.
But hey, let's impose sanctions on them, bro. We have a torture base right there. We have a torture camp.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I don't know what to make of Cuba, bro, because I just know that all the information we get is tainted, so I just don't know what to make. But then I see people there saying they're struggling and they're suffering, and I feel for people, you know, but I don't know the cause of the struggle and suffering. I don't know if it's from their government or from said sanctions or different things, you know, that make it hard for them. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, bro, what's going on, because at the end of the day, the politics paint a picture, but the people are always the ones that pay the price, you know? The people on the ground.
Bro.
Because all people around the world pretty much want the same thing. And these governments are all controlling the fuck out of us and not living up to what is. The government's supposed to be our servant, people. The government is supposed to be very small. We've let these motherfuckers turn into these enormous, you know, forces.
Entities,
yeah, like the government is supposed to serve us. This shit is turned around and flipped upside down, and we don't even know what's right from wrong and or left or right anymore. And the saddest part is our tax dollars fund it.
That's true. Absolutely.
So our bloody hands is right there.
Absolutely. So check this out. During August 2003, just in August, there were 23 suicide attempts. That's how these dudes are feeling in there, bro.
Man.
The
How
U.S.
many people are left in there?
Bro, tons. The U.S. officials did not say why they had not previously reported the incident. I know why they didn't report it. After this event, the Pentagon reclassified alleged suicide attempts as, quote, manipulative, self-injurious behaviors. Camp physicians allege that detainees do not genuinely wish to end their lives. They're just doing it for the hell of it, bro. They don't really want to kill themselves. It's just for the fuck of it. He knows what's up. He does that shit. But he does it while he's jacking off. Desai does that shit.
They gave him that anthrax
He
vaccine.
does that crazy. What's that shit called? You know what I'm talking about?
You over the shoulder boulder holder?
Órale, da.
Damn, homie.
So look, on June 10, 2006, 3 detainees were found dead who, according to the Department of Defense, quote, killed themselves in an apparent suicide pact. Prison Commander Rear Admiral Harry Harris, that's a cool name. Harry Harris claimed this was not an act of desperation, despite prisoners' pleas to the contrary, but rather, quote, an act of asymmetric warfare committed against us. The people committing suicide is warfare against us.
Yeah.
Them killing themselves is warfare against us, bro.
Wow.
The Center for Policy and Research published Death in Camp Delta in 2009, noting many inconsistencies in the government account, and said the conclusion of suicide by hanging in their cells was not supported. So they're not killing themselves. They're being killed, bro. Right?
Damn it, man.
It suggested that camp administration, it suggested that camp administration officials had either been grossly negligent or were participating in a cover-up of the deaths. Crazy, right?
Yep.
That's insane, bro. Bro, I don't care what these motherfuckers did. You still gotta fucking, you know what I mean? You can't just like go around fucking killing motherfuckers, bro.
Facts.
You just can't. That's not right, bro. So anyways, in June 2004, nearly 600 detainees, not more than 24, of the nearly 600 detainees, not more than 24 were closely linked to Al-Qaeda, and that only very limited information could have been received from questionings. Crazy, right? So most of the people in there aren't even there. So in June 2004, the New York Times reported that of the nearly 600 detainees, not more than 24 were closely linked to Al-Qaeda, and that only very limited information could have been received from questioning. So a lot of these people, most of them, are not even fucking terrorists, bro. They're just prisoners.
Right.
Okay? I just want to say this last thing. This is disgusting, bro. David McColgan, a defense attorney for Guantanamo detainees, described a female government interrogator telling a Muslim detainee she was menstruating, slipped her hand into her pants and pulled it out with what appeared to be menstrual blood. The detainee screamed at the top of his lungs, began shaking, sobbing, and yanked his arms against his handcuffs. The interrogator explained to the detainee that he would now feel too dirty to pray, and that she would have the guards turn off the water in his cell so he would not be able to wash off the blood. Then she told him, quote, "What do you think your brothers will think of you in the morning when they see an American woman's menstrual blood on your face?" These acts, as well as interrogators desecrating the Quran, led the detainees to riots and mass suicide attempts.
Yeah, that's fucking strange, bro. Why the hell would she? Yeah, that's way out, man. There's some creepy people in this world.
Those are the people in charge of the detainees, bro. That's what they're doing
I
to them,
can't
bro.
fathom.
But hey, let's have sanctions on Cuba, bro. Let's sanction Cuba
Right.
for human rights violations, bro.
That's
Are you
what we've
kidding me?
always done to me. And I
Absolutely.
stopped speaking on it because I've kind of calmed down on that tone and that rhetoric of where I used to come from now that I'm a little older.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've always thought that it's strange that we're the world's police, but we're so crooked.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like
Absolutely.
the real police, I guess, you know? And then people even still think of us as the world's police because I've seen like memes and I don't even know how much these memes are real anymore because we all know social media has been infiltrated, you know?
Right.
You be having bots sending you shit, you think it's a real person. But they had these memes, they were showing Americans like, you know, trying to buck the system. What kind of flags were we holding up? I forgot what it was, but basically other countries use American flags to show opposition to their government. As if, you know, our flag stands
That
for
makes sense.
freedom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like this idea still permeates people's mind. But it's like us here as Americans, I don't feel that sense of freedom that they see us as,
I don't feel
or
it.
that place on the hill, or, you know, streets paved of gold. Now, I do know that it is a real thing that people that are born here do have a lack of appreciation, I think, for some of the things here because people come from other countries and seem to flourish more
Right.
so than us. So I do think there is a level of opportunity here that other people may not be afforded other places.
Absolutely.
So I get it. But when we're talking about freedom, you know, and the core tenements of it, like, how are we the beacon for freedom? I just don't see that. You know what I mean? When we've done nothing but enslave, discriminate, you know what I mean? Torture, go to war, you know, like, but we're the moral standard? Says who? You know, like that always has like been a weird thing to me. And I thought it was just American propaganda because I live here. And I like to see what other people around the world think, but I think it's one of those things where it's not one or the other. It's somewhere, you know, more in the middle, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that what you just pointed out is a great example of that fucking hypocrisy, bro.
Hypocrisy in our democracy.
I don't
bro.
even have words.
Kush and Chemtrails, the world's most dangerous podcast.